Good afternoon. I want to welcome everyone to our mentor protege update. Daryl, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you. And thanks for hosting. Thanks for having me. Always appreciate the opportunity to market this program. So on the screen, it actually says October 6th. So everybody here on the line is getting a precursor to in-person. We have in-person meeting at I think Westmoreland County Community College next Friday. And we added some new information to the slides here that you're going to hear for the first time in advance of that meeting. So looking forward to presenting that to you. So here we go. I'm going to give you the background and then, hey, where we're currently at and where we want to go. So this all started with the 2018 disparity study, which was commissioned by former Secretary Leslie Richards. So that study showed that only 0.1% of highway construction or transportation dollars were going towards Black American-owned firms, and that the recommendation in that report said for PennDOT to create a mentor-protege program. So I jumped up and down and I took the lead. I wanted to be part of that, working with our Beer Week opportunity, and got to know Wade and Chiron and all the folks at ProRank here. So it was an awesome opportunity. So that disparity study deemed the term underutilized. So Black American-owned business is the underutilized, based upon availability, group of business owners in Pennsylvania. So we've started frequently using the word underutilized, and we'll get into that a little bit more here. So it's both design and construction. So we're not talking services or necessarily service suppliers. We'll get into that with pre-qual, but the initial program here is based upon consultant design and then doing construction. All right, so we asked each district office to go out with 2 design projects each, so that would total of 22. So we've awarded 20 agreements already using the Mentor Protege program. So I'm sort of marketing some successes here. Also, we didn't have ProRank Academy at the start. We're sort of developing this as we go. We now have a robust ProRank online academy. I'm sure it's the best in the state, and we're going to continue to make enhancements to it. There's one additional ECMS agreement from the original set of projects we asked our districts to go out with that's in process. And I have 2 more to follow. We've also held industry forums. So they started with what was called Pass the PennDOT, just to express that PennDOT's commitment to diversity. Those forums had contractors and consultants in and sort of did 101 training for Bureau of Equal Opportunity, civil rights type stuff, on the job training, certification. And we're taking that to the next step. We actually did a forum, a workshop, a speed dating event in June in our District 6 office. 50 people attended that. And we actually did the hand holding and had DBs present, say, hey, I want to get in the business of doing X, Y, Z. And we had prime contractors get in the present and say, I need DBs that could do X, Y, and Z. And we sort of did that speed and dating event. So that's what we're going to try to replicate next Friday at October 6th, Westmoreland County Community College. So if you haven't signed up, please sign up for that event if you live out in the western part of the state. All right, so this is pretty huge and exciting. So 17 times out of those 19 projects that we went out with, an underutilized firm was chosen by the prime consultant. So you have on the screen here who was what underutilized firm was used each time. Most of those projects that went out the door, we didn't dictate to the districts what type of projects to do. They mostly end up using small bridge design projects for the Mentor Protege project. You'll see we're going to grow that our program here on later, some slides that are coming up. Other DBEs that were used as the protege, they're on the screen there as well. So if you're an underutilized firm, you could continue to be the protege and be on multiple agreements. If you're non-underutilized, meaning you're DB trying to get work for the first time, our policy is you get 1 job, and then again, I'll provide you additional opportunities later in the slides here. So again, underutilized, you get multiple projects. If you're non-underutilized, just regular DB, you could get project once. All right, so I often speak in front of prime contractors or consultants, so say consultants for this slide, and they say, hey, there's not enough underutilized firms out there. So I have a team of consultants that are supporting me now and have them run the data. So look on the screen there, you got plenty of underutilized firms out there to choose from that could help you do your design. I want to thank all the mentors to date that have won projects that brought the underutilized firms on to their team. So thank you for all those consultants that are on the screen there participating. All right, so that was the background. Now, where are we at today? So there is another disparity study going on that myself and the Bureau of Opportunity are leading. So it's 2023 disparity study. It's still the previous 5 years of data. So I don't anticipate that the data is going to show that brings the Black American-owned firms out of the underutilized category, because our projects are literally just starting now. So unfortunately, it's going to take the next 5 year permit, or not permit, but 5 year period until we start seeing underutilized firms show up with positive results in the actual disparity study. So with that disparity study, there will be public forums. We're going to ask DBEs, or they're going to ask DBEs, the vendors, BBC, and they're going to ask for your barriers. And we want to continue to knock down barriers and figure out ideas on why are DBEs signing up or registered? Why did you get a NAICS code, but maybe why didn't you go forward with the next step as far as getting an ECMS overhead rate, and then maybe you had an ECMS overhead rate or a pre-qualification and you dropped it. So we want to mine that data and reach out to you to figure out how we could grow our pool of DBs and keep everybody pre-qualified and ready. So we wanted, as we've been working on this, sort of studying what other states do, and then we had COVID, so it took us from like 2019 to last year to develop research and develop a program. So the program has been underway for a year now. We still wanted to sit back and focus. All right, let's do a refocus. Where do we want to head in next? So had a visioning session with ACEC. They're the consultant lobbying group, and then APC, that's the construction lobbying group. And this is all key. You got to have buy-in from the industry to make the program successful. And they've been with us from the start, but we just wanted to refocus here where we want to head in the future. So on the consultant side, it's let's continually provide additional features to ProRank Academy to make that more robust, more online features, more automated, keep on improving that. And also on the consultant side, it's, hey, look, let's not limit ourselves to small bridge projects. Let's go bigger. Let's go construction inspection. Let's go bridge inspection. Let's go flagging. I think I have some more slides on that here moving forward. Continue to eliminate barriers. Later in the presentation, I'm going to focus on construction, and we've got a Mythbusters on pre-qual. I mean, there should not be a reason for contractors to help the DBEs and bring them on and participate in this program. All right, so we're going to work on quick strike, short term, and long term. So going forward, so I want to continue to meet, establish an advisory board here, continue to seek new ideas. And there you have it. I mentioned what's good. Let's do bridge inspection. Let's do construction inspection. We also have an SBE set aside program. Each district is to advertise on the consultant side an SBE project. That means a DBE or an SBE needs to be the prime vendor consultant for that contract. So looking forward to seeing the results of that program. All right, so I mentioned this. Let's continue to mine data. Why are firms becoming certified, but then not getting work and everything in between? Let's mine that data and get better and try to get everybody some work here. Commercial use function. Let's look into that on it's still deterring contractors on the construction side from participating. So you are, on the construction side, you're allowed to share equipment and services as part of this program. So let's do some marketing and maybe some YouTube videos on what's allowed as compared to maybe what's not allowed. So we need to get better understand what does commercial use function do. We mentioned Per Rank Academy. Wade and Chiron and everybody on the line here, they've already plugged away and mostly done it. A lot of the upgrades that they made to the Per Rank Academy, making it better, or even more modernizing it. So, an example: hey, we didn't build ECMS overnight on the at PennDOT. That we continually every year building additional modules in the ECMS. So we anticipate the same with the use of Per Rank Academy. All right, so we need to, I have a team of consultants surrounded with me along with participants from our district office. We need to monitor the projects that are underway right now. So it's going to be like 22 projects. We need to reach out to everybody, make sure that they're going well. ProRank has developed an automated survey system to email the participants of those and measure the success, and then also measure how you graduate or not. So that's underway. We'll continue to market that program. We also have 2 executive orders that the governor's office recently released. You got OJT to mentor protege and apprenticeship programs. Apprenticeship program developing. Exactly what does that mean? It actually requires us to have a mentor protege program, which we're a year into it already. So that's pretty cool. We're ahead of the game compared to other agencies with that executive order. All right, so these are additional ideas that are in process. Pretty cool. So let's develop an apprenticeship program. So what's an apprenticeship program? Not exactly an MPP advertised project in ECMS, but let's help the DBE community corner additional markets that aren't there yet or fully established. So railroad flagging is a huge need. North Fork, there's only 2 pre-qualified vendors that could do railroad flagging for North Fork Southern. So let's try to help a couple DBEs get pre-qualified to get into that pool of flaggers, allow them to corner that market. That's going to help a win-win for North Fork Southern because they utilize in-house flagging. This will supplement their in-house program, but then also allow DBEs to sort of supplement the peaks and bounds whenever PennDOT has a lot of projects that we're pushing through and we need contractor consultant support to help do the flagging. This will end up growing that industry. And then we'll have MBS and construction and inspection apprenticeships. So what that means is I have DBEs, we're listening. So DBEs are calling me and say, hey, I have staff that want to be construction inspectors or bridge inspectors, but they're not qualified to take the training. So we're going to develop a pre-apprenticeship program, pay for the training, make sure that they're qualified and eligible to get into those programs. And then last one, just regular flagging in general. Let's try to grow that industry and allow DBEs to a lot more opportunities for DBEs there, and that's going to help prime contractors meet their DBE goal. So let's continue to grow the flagging industry. All right, longer term vision of ours, DBE prompt payments. So we have control over ECMS. Can we issue automatic email alerts, or like on the construction side, contractors are submitting invoices weekly as opposed to the consultant side, they're submitting monthly. Can we ask the consultant side can you invoice us more monthly, and can we force changes in this ECMS system to get our DBs paid faster? So that's a bucket list item that we just get started on. So looking forward to making improvements there. Strategic planning and partnership development. So I got another slide on that. That's just, wouldn't it be cool if we didn't have to go out with mentor protege projects in the future, and prime consultants and contractors just automatically they bring on underutilized firms without any incentive or requirements in the ad to do so. So that's what that means. And we heard one in District 8 that happened already, where it was a non-mentor protege program. They're proposing to do mentor protege as part of it, even though it wasn't required as part of the project. So cool stuff here. All right. Develop additional apprenticeship programs. So, hey, we'll take your ideas. We heard railroad flagging. We heard MBIS. We heard construction inspection. If you know more, send them to us. Somewhere where there's NAICS codes for civil rights compliance. where can we grow that? Thinking DBE compliance officer for construction projects. So it's already required or will be required for all design build projects as part of the new federal regulation that's going to be sort of deployed here by the end of the year. So we have a draft specification going out by clearance transmittal. And hey, so maybe what does that mean? So maybe each contract will have to have somebody that's a DBE officer, and that person will have to maybe work with the community to hire OJTs on their projects or help do recruiting for PennDOT and make sure DBEs are getting paid on time and transparency. Show where's all the money going to on the contract. Have a website for every project. So that's something we would like to grow, and that would help grow the DB community there. But let's have a DB be the DB officer on these contracts moving forward. All right, prime and underutilized firms, long-term relationships. I touched on that. I got another slide on that here. So it's all about the full cycle here and developing partnerships. And again, developing the long-term business relationships between the underutilized firms, DBs, and the prime consultants and contractors. And again, it's also let's figure out what's preventing what are the barriers, what's stopping them from becoming willing, ready, and able. Is it overhead rate problems? Why aren't they bidding, et cetera? So we need to continue to monitor that and get better at that. All right, so now nobody has seen this yet. I want to test it out with everybody on the line. We've held, I'd say each time myself, Pro Rank, and Bureau Opportunity gets up and presents at our district offices, it always comes down to construction pre-qualification. And they say that's the reason we can't participate. Then we end up getting Matt Weaver on the line, and then Matt calms them down every time. So I called Matt Weaver. Matt Weaver's unavailable to come with me on October 6th, next Friday. So I said, Matt, I want you to teach me what you know. And so we rehearsed all the questions, and I'm going to go ahead and go over them here. So we anticipate the questions that the prime contractors are asking, and reasons why they haven't participated in the mentor project program in the past or have barriers with pre-qualification. So here we go. Provisional pre-qualification can be and usually is submitted after the bid starts. So prime contractors will keep on getting up in front of the room and say, I'm afraid my bids are going to be rejected because you're not going to approve my pre-qualification as part of the bid. So Matt Weaver's saying, hey, provisional pre-qual could be done after the bid. It doesn't have to be a part of the bid submission. So you're not worried. He's never rejected anybody for provisional pre-qual, and that's what gets into the second bullet here. What would you get your bid rejected for? If you didn't provide you got 5 days after your bid is due, if you're a prime contractor, to provide your DB participation. So yeah, if you don't provide your DB participation in that 5 days, then you get bid. That's different from construction pre-qual and provisional pre-qualification. Also, let's just say if PennDOT rejects the bids, if the prime proposed a lower DBE goal, so typically on the construction side, it's like 8 point something. So let's just say a contractor came in and said, oh, I'm only providing committing 6%. And maybe they would adjust it with a good faith effort, and the good faith effort didn't come through. So that's just an example of how you could get your bid rejected. But again, it's not due to, hey, I want to bring DBE company on and I'm going to help them get pre-qualification code for whatever, silk fence or putting up a retaining wall. So he's never rejected anybody for that. So we want to make sure we put that myth buster out there. It's just a myth. All right, we've heard this one. We heard this one in June in our meeting in District 6. Primes don't have funds in the contract to add DB participation after award. So they put in their bids, they're locked to a fixed amount in their low bid, and we're asking them to participate in mentor protege, and they're saying, oh hey, Daryl, where's that money coming from to add the additional DB to the program? Well, that's what the $25,000 is for, that we are allowed to force account. Whenever we first started the program, it was supposed to be part of the bid. Then we said, hey, we learned we don't have to do that. We could force account a mentor protege special provision into any contract, any type of contract. That immediately allows a $25,000 line item for the contractor and the DBE to charge against, to have that prime contractor help the DBE get an additional work pre-qualification code. And then if we get a barrier in the future that says $25,000 ain't enough, if contractor community Bob Latham says, let's go to 35, we'll go to 35. So I'll continue to knock down those barriers as people bring them. All right, one thing we do need, this is tough that we did learn, you do need one work code in order to qualify for a provisional pre-qualification. So that is the biggest barrier that's remaining that we haven't knocked down. So we do allow, so if you're a service supplier, you don't have an initial ECMS work code because that's called pre-qual exempt. But if a contractor wants to participate, take our $25,000 and bring that DBE on and bring them on to one of your other, surely the contractors have other non-PennDOT projects. Take that $25, work $25,000, work with them on a non-PennDOT project, and submit that paperwork back into Matt Weaver and get them the code. So it's nobody has tried that. We've offered it, haven't got to the finish line, but that option is out there. That's the most extreme case. Again, if you're a service supplier, you don't have your first code. That's just an option on how to get your first code. All right, and I'll restate it there. Provisional pre-qual could occur on any project. Doesn't have to be it could be any construction project. All right, and hey, Matt Weaver is an extremely helpful and dedicated PennDOT employee. He's committed to reviewing your paperwork timely. He always just says, "Hey, just call him on the phone." We've got his number on there. We asked what's a reason why a provisional pre-qual wouldn't get approved right away. It would just be failure to submit the paperwork and/or failure to receive the referrals from the prime company who helped did the mentoring. So there's two reasons. So there we go. That's fresh off the press.